In this video, I'm going to turn a $1,000 investment into $10,000 using Shopify, and we're going to do a live, basically, you're going to walk with me through how I would approach taking an investment of $1,000, putting it into a business, starting something, and I'm going to show you what that funnel looks like for somebody that's been doing this for quite a lot of time. If you're daunted by needing $1,000 to start, because every guru on YouTube says that you can start for free, do not fret. All you need to do for this instance, and we're showing a very real result of $1,000 of buying product and then selling it, all you need to do to save that $1,000 is get a little bit extra work a little bit extra on top of what you're already doing, save that money. By no means do you have to follow this model. This is just a higher reward, lower risk than starting free. You might say, oh, how can it be lower risk than starting free? We're not going to spend any money on ads for this. And you guys are going to get frustrated with me, but because I actually do this stuff and I'm actually doing it for the video and I'm going to actually take this idea and continue it in the future so you guys know it's real, I'm not going to fully share what the product is. We're going to get into what the product is, but I'm not going to fully share exactly what the product is because, again, I'm doing this for real. I'm not some fake guru, and that's why you should subscribe to the video. I also want to say this channel is no frills, straight to the point, lots of information. You're going to learn something here. Let's get into it. So trolling through YouTube, I see all these challenges of like trying to make money in 24 hours on Shopify, 24-hour dropshipping challenge. And, I realize that all of these aren't really real. They're people just trying products out and sometimes they fail. More often than not, they fail. It's all a write-off for the YouTuber. So I thought, what better to do than try that on my own? And then I realized I don't want to do that because I'm not going to ever do that in the real world. It's never going to be a real life thing for me. So I wanted to do something for you guys that's actually real. I have an existing dropshipping store. I also have an existing just e-commerce platform on Shopify. And I said to myself, I want to go out and start a new product, buy, stock the product, walk you guys through what it is to source the product, basically what I'm doing, and then going through my process of actually selling it and just showing you the live results. But again, because I'm actually doing this, I'm not going to give you the full blueprint on my exact product. I'm going to give you the blueprint on how to do this and replicate this for yourself. There are no guarantees in life as well. You need to do your research for the product that you end up doing this for, and I'll give you some tips and tricks on how to do that, but there is some risk involved. This is by no means a guarantee. This is just how I approach it. So because I am a mechanical engineer, I'm going to start and do something in the automotive niche. I'm going to buy $1,000 worth of product within the automotive niche because it's a niche that I know. And this is something that you can replicate with something that you know, whether it's a hobby, a passion, what you do for work. There is a marketplace for what you're doing. But specifically, I'm going to pick an exterior part that costs about $40 to $50 to the customer in the automotive niche. Specifically, I'm going to pick a platform that isn't exactly what one of my businesses already attacks, but it's going to be the Ford Mustang platform. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick an exterior product, something that goes on the front bumper of the vehicle. I'm not going to tell you exactly what, but it is a product that goes on the front bumper of the vehicle of the Ford Mustang. I don't know much about the Mustang platform, but it's a sports car, and I know there's a large community behind it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go online and make sure that there isn't a lot of competition for that product. Now, what does that even mean? What I'm basically doing here is, because I just want to show you the process and potentially compete long term, I'm looking for a product that costs a lot of money that I know that I can source lower and live off a smaller profit margin, with my target profit margin 20 to 30% right now, with a low volume. So I found that product and I found the niche. How did I do that? I went onto my competition stores, I looked at products under $100, and I went out and I just went through them and I tried to find out if I can source them for cheaper or source them for a reasonable price. I then, once I figured out a product that makes sense, went onto Facebook groups and made sure with all the photos of cars people are posting that they are actually using this product on some of those cars. I want to have this social proof that it's going to actually sell. Let's say you're not doing an automotive product. You can do the same exact thing. Pick your niche, find your competitors, look and try to source the products that they are listing on their site that are lower cost. See if you can get a margin that works for you where you're still undercutting your competition. You're selling it for a lot cheaper. And then go find social proof of people having it on social media, specifically Facebook groups. So what I've then done is, now that I think I can get it online, I see the social proof, I'm heading over to Alibaba because I actually want to source these products. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to submit a request for manufacturing quote, an RFQ where I'm going to actually post a photo of it, I'm going to describe it and let manufacturers come to me. And then I'm also going to search it the way that I did the first time when I was looking for it and reach out to all those manufacturers, a little blurb about who I am, just saying I'm a retailer in the United States, I'm looking for X amount of units. For this case, because we're doing a small order, I'm saying 50 to 500 just so I can kind of pique their interest as well. Small order, but 500 is enough to start doing business. And then I'm asking, what is your process for paying for a sample? Now, it is critical to say it that way because you're not asking for a free sample. If you ask for a free sample, it's a really bad way of starting off the relationship. It's also a great way of kind of sussing out red flags and things like that. I'm going to get a sample. It's going to take 3 or 4 weeks to get to me. I'm going to check the sample. I'm going to test the fitment for my specific niche because I need to test it on a vehicle. I'm not going to get too far into how you do that because you could have a non-automotive product. Once I've seen the sample, I think it's okay. The next step is to order product. For my specific situation, I'm ordering 200 units, totaling $1,000 cost shipped, with a goal of selling each of these units for $45 a piece, undercutting my competition by $35. Because I'm a small business and it's just me, I can operate with those profit margins where a larger company could not. I will be honest, it wasn't easy to find this product. It took me probably 2 or 3 weeks to find that product that made sense like that, and then I placed my order. While my order is being placed, it's going to take 2 to 6 weeks for delivery, let's say. I'm taking the sample product and I'm starting the growth of organic content. What does that even mean? I'm starting to film content that I'm going to use to grow my sales infrastructure organically without having to spend money. I'm getting lots of photos of it. I'm getting photos in different situations. I'm creating content around videos. I'm doing everything that I can to create the most amount of content possible that I'm then going to repurpose to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So next, my products have arrived and I've got a bunch of content already ready. I'm going to throw it up on my Shopify site. I'm going to put some copy. I'm going to get my still photos on there, get my pricing on there, and the next thing I'm going to do before I post any content is I'm going to get down into the Facebook groups. And these Facebook groups are groups around the community within the marketplace that I'm selling. So this might be Mustang groups, this might be Ford enthusiasts. This is just an example. If you're selling camera parts, it might be a camera enthusiast group. It might be specific to that camera type. What I'm doing is I'm then making a post saying, weekend sale, 20% off, blah, 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 copy to get the customer in. I'm making sure it's okay to post in the group so I don't get banned, right? Some groups won't let you post, some will. I'm linking my site, my static landing page for the product, and I'm posting, and I'm seeing what happens, and I'm trying to create engagement. So not only are you trying to sell with this post, but you want to drive people to comment and like. So you might say, if you want a custom discount, drop a comment. If you have any questions about the product, drop a comment. Or the first 5 people will get 30% off or 35% off, an extra 5% off if you comment below. You want to drive engagement on your post, and you want to do this over many, many, many Facebook groups. How many? For this specific situation, I posted in 140 Facebook groups that spanned mostly the United States, but also Canada, England, and Australia, just in case. So for my specific example, I will show you guys in a second, I didn't have to go further than that, and I'll explain why. But the next step for most of you guys is you're going to then do the same thing, but you're going to pitch organically through content creation. So you're going to create an Instagram for your product and for your brand. You're also going to create a TikTok for your product and for your brand, and you're going to start not only producing content, but reaching out to other smaller creators with a free product for a video review or multiple video reviews. And you're going to rinse and repeat, and you're going to once a week, once a month post on Facebook, and then you're going to post as much as you can on Instagram and on TikTok as possible until you've sold your inventory. Now, here is the critical part. Do not fail here. You might fail in that the product doesn't sell and it's just not going to be worth it. But what you cannot do is give up. Why? Then you're going to be stuck with a bunch of product, and that's probably what happens to a lot of people. It's happened to me before. I've got product all around me that I haven't sold that is selling very, very slow. It's like trickle sales. The important piece is that once you take the step of stocking product, you continue this up until your product is sold. Might take 3 or 4 years. I certainly have products that have been selling for 3 or 4 years, and it might be another 2 or 3 years before they fully sell just because they weren't hits. I've got other ones where they sell in like 3 weeks. And in this specific instance, I sold most of my products within 2 months. So I started this video actually 2 months ago, and I'll show you guys some of the Shopify sales shortly here. I'm going to blur out my customer information, but you can see the dates and stuff. And these are all sales of my product and some alternate cross-sells that I eventually started implementing once I started seeing full traction. And while I didn't fully hit the $10,000 mark, what I did do is I spent the $1,000, and then I've already done 3 reorders in a 2-month span to repeat the process and continue to get inventory. And after this last third inventory order, I should be nearing that 5-digit number of profit. We're not talking about total revenue. I for sure hit the total revenue after the second reorder of the product, but of course I had the money to reorder the product because it sold so quickly. Now, why did my instance sell so quickly? It really has to come down to product research, and I got a little bit lucky, right? I did enough research at the get-go that I saw the demand. I knew that if I undercut the price, it would create this situation that the price is so good, I'm willing to take the risk with this new brand, and it's such a good deal, I can get this part for my car that I wanted before. Now, this is just an example, but I've done this with other things as well, where you're creating a price fallacy, where you're trying to get into the market. Large corporations do this too. It's just an opportunity to get into the market. And the short answer of it is, I'm still working on this brand, and I'm growing it into its own segment and silo. And by the time that you guys are probably seeing this, I've then expanded to a bigger umbrella and bigger spider web. I'm going to wait a little actually before posting this because I want to make sure there is some delay so that if you try to copy me, then, I mean, it's a free market. You know, it's going to be hard to market if you don't understand vehicles in the automotive world. So just say that I'll just say that out loud. But the short answer is we're on target to go from 1,000 to 10,000 without reinvesting more money. And from a time perspective, it's not taking me a lot of time because I've gotten lucky that I haven't done any content production, actually content release, because I did the initial content production because that's part of my process, but I never actually had to post it. The Facebook groups were enough to carry traction throughout the process. And that's a process that you guys can rinse and repeat. So I know this video was probably not what you were expecting, but that is exactly what I just did. And I will create videos that are deeper kind of how-tos of each particular step, but that's the overall structure of how you approach what you're doing. I've got videos on the channel about how to source things on Alibaba, AliExpress, all those types of things, and all those kind of introductions to the space. But otherwise, all you need to do is take the first step. If you're interested in doing that, I cannot emphasize that enough. Most people just fail by not starting at the get-go. So if you have any interest in doing this, I highly advise taking your first step, whether that's spending, a couple hundred hours watching YouTube videos like this, or it's actually you've done that and you're taking your step and you're ordering your first product. It's really up to you, but the first step is just taking the leap of faith and doing something about your desire to change your life, essentially. I'll let you guys go after that. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.